History is filled with stories, but some chapters remain stubbornly blank, their final words unwritten. These are the tales that linger in the shadows, the mysteries that have baffled experts and captivated our imaginations for generations. From celebrated literary figures to ordinary people caught in extraordinary circumstances, their final moments are shrouded in questions that we are still trying to answer today. Prepare to journey into the heart of some of history's most enduring and perplexing unsolved cases. Our first stop takes us to the dark, romantic streets of 19th century Baltimore, to the final days of a master of the macabre himself, Edgar Allan Poe. On October 3rd, Poe was discovered on the streets, delirious and in great distress. He was wearing clothes that were not his own and was unable to explain what had happened to him. He was taken to a hospital where he slipped in and out of consciousness for 4 days, calling out for someone named Reynolds, before finally succumbing to his mysterious ailment. His last words were reportedly, "Lord, help my poor soul." What could have befallen one of America's most brilliant writers? His official cause of death was listed as congestion of the brain, a vague term that only deepened the mystery. The theories are as varied and strange as his own stories. The most common one points to alcohol. Poe had a well-documented struggle with drinking, and some believe he fell off the wagon and drank himself to death. But those who knew him said he had been sober for months leading up to his trip. Could a single relapse have been so catastrophic? Another sinister theory suggests cooping. In the notoriously corrupt world of 19th century politics, gangs would kidnap unwilling participants, ply them with alcohol or drugs, and force them to vote multiple times for a particular candidate, often changing their clothes to disguise them. Poe was found on an election day in someone else's clothes, which lends a chilling credibility to this idea. Was he an unfortunate victim of political thuggery? Then there are the medical theories. Some researchers suggest he may have been suffering from an undiagnosed condition like a brain tumor. Others point to rabies, as his symptoms delirium, confusion, and hydrophobia are consistent with the disease. Without modern medical records, we can only speculate. The life of Edgar Allan Poe was a tapestry of darkness and light, and it seems fitting, in a tragic way, that his death became his final and greatest unsolved mystery. Let's fast forward nearly a century to the sun-drenched coast of South Australia. On the morning of December 1st, 1948, a well-dressed man was found lying on Somerton Park Beach. He had no signs of violence, no identification, and all the labels on his clothing had been meticulously removed. In his pockets were a train ticket, a bus ticket, a comb, and some gum, but no wallet and no name. The authorities were stumped. Who was this man, and how did he die? The case took a bizarre turn when a pathologist discovered a tiny, rolled-up piece of paper hidden in a secret fob pocket of the man's trousers. On it were 2 words, printed in an ornate script: Tamam shud. This phrase, meaning it is ended or finished in Persian, was torn from the final page of a rare edition of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of poems. The police launched a nationwide search for the book the scrap came from. Amazingly, a man came forward, explaining that he had found the book in the back of his car, which he had left unlocked near Somerton Beach around the time the body was discovered. Inside the book, investigators found faint pencil markings. It appeared to be a complex code, a jumble of letters that has defied professional and amateur cryptographers for over 70 years. Was it a message? A spy's cipher? The mystery deepened even further. The book also contained an unlisted phone number belonging to a nurse who lived near the beach. When questioned, she claimed to have no knowledge of the deceased man. However, she admitted that during World War II, she had given a copy of the Rubaiyat to an army officer. She seemed evasive and distressed, leading many to believe she knew more than she was letting on. The Somerton Man, as he came to be known, was eventually buried without a name, his identity and the meaning of Tamam shud lost to the sands of time. Was he a jilted lover? A Cold War spy? Or something else entirely? His silent repose on that quiet beach leaves us with nothing but questions. Now, we travel to the desolate, windswept slopes of the Ural Mountains in the Soviet Union. In February 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers, mostly students from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, set out on a challenging winter expedition, led by Igor Dyatlov. They were skilled, prepared, and in high spirits. They were due to send a telegraph when they finished their route, But the days turned into weeks, and no message came. A search party was dispatched. What they found was a scene of pure, inexplicable horror. The hiker's tent was discovered on the slope of a mountain ominously named Kholat Syakhl, or Dead Mountain in the local Mansi language. It had been sliced open from the inside. All the group's belongings, including their winter coats and boots, were left behind. Following footprints in the snow, the searchers made a series of gruesome discoveries. The first 2 bodies were found by a makeshift fire under a large pine tree. Over a kilometer from the tent, they were dressed only in their underwear. 3 more bodies, including Dyatlov's, were found between the tree and the tent, seemingly frozen while trying to crawl back to shelter. It took another 2 months to find the remaining 4 hikers, buried under 4 meters of snow in a ravine. Their discovery turned a tragic accident into a terrifying enigma. One had severe chest fractures. Another had major skull damage. Yet neither had any external wounds, as if they had been crushed by an immense force. And most disturbingly, one of the women was missing her tongue. What could have caused these seasoned hikers to tear their way out of their tent in sub-zero temperatures and flee into the darkness without proper clothing? The initial investigation concluded that they died from a compelling natural force. A conclusion as vague as it is unsatisfying. Theories have ranged from an avalanche, though evidence for one was scarce to an attack by local Mansi tribesmen, which was quickly disproven. More outlandish theories suggest secret military weapons testing, an encounter with a UFO, or even an attack by a Russian Yeti. The fact that some of their clothing was found to be slightly radioactive only added fuel to the speculative fire. The hiker's final photograph, a blurry, frantic image taken in the dark, seems to capture a moment of pure panic. The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the most chilling and baffling mysteries of the 20th century. 9 lives cut short on a frozen mountainside, leaving behind a story with no logical explanation. From a poet's final delirium to a cipher on a lonely beach, to a horrifying end in the snowy wilderness. These stories are more than just historical footnotes. They are human dramas with their final acts missing. They remind us that for all our knowledge and technology, there are still corners of our past that remain in shadow. Puzzles without solutions. The faces of Poe, the Somerton Man, and the Dyatlov hikers fade into history, their secrets locked away forever. Perhaps some questions are never meant to be answered. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy exploring the unknown, make sure to like and subscribe for more journeys into history's greatest mysteries.